The first thing that led us to development was one of our faculty reaching out to Kai to have help just teaching his class. We didn't really know all of the resources that Kai had available. But the first thing that was recommended there was, let's look at your objectives and then mapping them out to see how all of it is taught and then how all of it is assessed, which ended up being a team project. So all of us got together, but it was really good because it got us on the same page. It also let us make sure we were current with the new education standards that had just come out.
The first one was to truly hammer out some objectives and learning objectives. We were able to narrow it down a little bit, hone in on what is the important things that we needed to teach. That way we could figure out how we were going to teach those things. We are all paramedics with a good paramedic background. However, education is a completely different monster. So we had to learn how to teach, and this was a great place to start, was to figure out what we needed to teach.
Maybe just how easy Jennifer has made the process is we have this whole year ahead of us, and kind of looking at it, we're like, oh wow, this is a lot. And Jennifer has made the process a lot simpler, where she's like, okay, let's look at this. Here's your objectives, and how do you do this? Well, here's what we would traditionally do. She's like, okay, well, how does this sound? And we're like, that actually sounds really good.
I really think the best thing that's come from development so far is the collaboration, because all of us approach the problems in different ways. We all have different mindsets, different strengths. Working in that setting has given us a place where we can put all that together on the table and figure out what would be the best approach for the students. There was one assignment that we made during a Kai meeting for the EMT class about respiratory diseases. There's a lot of specific signs and symptoms and findings they need to understand with different respiratory diseases or emergencies. So we made that into basically a murder mystery. We had an online assignment where a patient has presented with these things. They receive a series of profile cards for each respiratory disease that includes the lung sounds commonly associated with that disease and some of the signs and symptoms. And the students had to determine who done it, basically, which respiratory disease brought that patient into the ambulance that day. So that was one of the really fun assignments that we were able to collaborate and come up with during a Kai meeting.
I think the students have become more engaged because we have gone from just standing lecturing over slides to becoming more engaged in class, having more fun. So working with Kai was something that I think was completely necessary and needed. And it is incredible when you start talking to them and figuring those things out that they are able to help and take a lot of some of the workload of figuring some things out off of you. And it makes your life much easier.